Welcome to Module 10, and this is another module on technical SEO, which follows up on Module 9, where we gave you some of the basics. Now let's go deeper, and the reason why we want to go deeper is because this stuff, even though it's very technical on the surface, under the hood, actually again is about the user. It's about the different shifts we're seeing. It's people don't want to wait for a page load, and Google knows that, so they're making you make your website fast. You will see that most people use websites on mobile now, so Google is going to punish you if your mobile website doesn't look good. So in many ways, again, Google is adapting to the new needs of the users, but they're making it harder for you. So this is a technical module where we look under the hood of some of the things that you could be doing. We will cover 6 important steps of advanced technical SEO. The first one is website speed. We will talk about why it really matters, how Google evaluates load time. We will talk about measuring load times and page speed, and we will talk about best practices you can implement on the server side, site-wide, and page level. Secondly, we will talk about CDNs, what they are, how they work, and why they're good for SEO in terms of speed and security, and how you can use them. Thirdly, we will talk about mobile SEO, and we'll start with the fundamentals, what it is and what Google actually considers to be mobile. We will talk about mobile configuration. We will talk how different settings works, like having separate URLs, dynamic serving, responsive web design, and which ones are good for SEO. We will talk about optimizing for mobile performance, including AMP and progressive web apps. And we will also talk about mobile-first indexing, which is Google punishing or rewarding your desktop site based on your mobile performance. We will have an FAQ section there as well as best practices. Fourth, we will talk about JavaScript SEO. And have you ever had any talk or any presentation about JavaScript SEO? You know it's a little bit of an SEO's nightmare, but that doesn't mean that we cannot handle it. So this module will start with the fundamentals. What is JavaScript, the JavaScript framework, and then it will explain to you how Google processes JavaScript and also the different rendering methods. We will end with best practices and common pitfalls when doing JavaScript SEO. Fifth, we will talk about server log analysis, and you've heard this term a lot in the last couple of years, so it's time to start paying attention. We will talk about what it is, how it works for internet users outside of SEO, and why it's useful and how it relates to crawl budget and user agents. We will share the SUSO method for log file analysis using Screaming Frog, and I'm sure you're going to have a lot of fun with that. And number 6, we're going to talk about international SEO, what it is, why it matters, and what the characteristics are. We will talk about different strategies, understanding market differences, geo-distributed and language-dependent crawling. We will also talk about cross-language search results. We will help you determine a domain strategy, whether you choose a country code, top-level domain, subfolders, subdirectories, subdomains, and all the pros and cons that come with making that big strategic decision. And then within that, we'll help you to choose the right URL structure, and there we go, a deep dive on page ref length. I'm sure you've heard this, I'm sure you've seen it produce errors in your site crawl, so it's time to get to the bottom of this and understand what's going on. Again, we will end with common pitfalls and issues for international SEO and what you can do for multi-language websites. Don't forget to take the quiz because this is an important one. There's so much in here, so you really want to make sure you do the test and test your knowledge, and then I'll see you in the next module.